Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mindful Maze and Chats channel. Today I have the most anticipated video for me personally to make. I'm essentially sharing a recap of my year in nail polish and sharing all the goals that I either did or did not meet from that I set at the beginning of this year. I'm also sharing my goals for next year. I am going through my spreadsheet that I keep track of and just so much fun goodness. So I'm super excited. Congratulations to everyone to making it to 2026. It's been a wild ride and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it here. I love the space. Okay, it's time to get serious. So first things first, if you're new here, thank you, first of all. Second of all, at the beginning of this year, aka the beginning of my channel, my first video I ever made was making this video essentially, except for the previous year. So I went over all my 2024 stuff and I set goals for 2025. And now here we are in 2026 talking about my goals for 2026 and my previous goals for 2025. Essentially, I'm going to be going through everything that I did this year in terms of nail polish, and we should just get started. So first up, I want to go over what my spreadsheet looks like. Essentially, I track what polish I wore, what color I wore, and what finishes I wore, and there are corresponding, charts for that. For my finish charts, the two little ones that you can't see that have a name on them are for flaky bombs and reflectives. I only did those one time, so I guess the name just doesn't attach to them because they're too tiny or whatever. And then for my color charts, the two that you don't have the names attached to them were brown and nude. I love making these little charts. I just use Google Sheets for my spreadsheets because it's like super easy to use, but it's pretty similar to Excel. Excel I think is probably a little bit more powerful if I'm not wrong, but Google Sheets has sufficed with what I needed to do. And it's pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward. And honestly, whenever I don't know how to do something, I just click the help at the top and I ask it to help me with what I want to do. And it's pretty straightforward and it gives me nice juicy data. Speaking of data, a few other things that I track are whether or not I have used an untried or a topper in my polish. And then I also have like a personal rating scale that I'll pop up really quickly. Essentially, I just track how much I enjoyed the manicure based on my own subjective reasoning. And if you're curious, my average score was an 81.1. with my lowest rated mani being a 35, which was this really I don't even know how to this manicure is just what's going on. Like, pick a struggle. It's not giving. So anyway, it's not my favorite, but I'm sure, some of you are nice and are going to say that it looks just fine. I just kept adding things to it and it just did not come out how I wanted it to come out, but that's okay because my highest rated manicure was a 99 and it was this beautiful manicure that I did for a strawberry festival that I went to, and it was just so cute and wholesome and it just came out exactly how I wanted it to, hence why I almost got a perfect score. And I was just so obsessed with it. I did have a couple other manicures come close to it, but this one was the top rated manicure at 99 out of 100. Overall, I did 54 manicures throughout the year, so basically one every week, and sometimes if I had multiple things going on, I would do like 2 manicures, but it was very rare. As you can see, it only happened like twice this year. And then as far as which brands I used the most of, definitely it was Holo Taco. That one came to 73 different polishes that I ended up using, and that basically means that I used at least one Holo Taco per manicure. But of course there were lots of manicures that I didn't use a Holo Taco, but that's just the way that it came out. And then for Cert Colors, I used a Cert Colors polish 26 times and an ILNP polish only 3 times, which actually really surprised me. But at the same time, no, it didn't, because I look at my ILNP palette in my collection and I'm like, wow, I haven't used those like in forever. So I'm kind of sad because I do love my ILNP polishes, like I want more of them, but it does make me second guess like whether or not I should buy more of them, because the ones I have I barely use. I think part of the reason could be that I bought a lot of my ILNP collection when I was just starting out in like the nail polish collecting hobby. So my tastes have changed a lot. I have destashed a lot of my ILMP polishes, not because there's anything wrong with them, but just because when I first bought them, my tastes were very different than what they are now. So I don't really buy with a lot of my ILMP polishes, but they are still really, really pretty. And I think my tastes are still evolving, even though I'm like 5 years into this hobby now, I guess. That sounds kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, even though we're 5 years in, my tastes are still evolving and changing. And I think I'm coming back around, and I kind of like miss some of my older ILMP polishes. So it'll be interesting, especially when I reveal what my goals are for next year. I'm also just going to include a little snapshot of what my spreadsheet looks like in case you're curious as to how I organize everything. It's not super advanced or anything. It's pretty bare bones and rudimentary. I know that Hillary from Mediocre Manis has like a really cool spreadsheet. It's like super interconnected, and I'm like, wow, like that's the level I'm trying to be on. But I think hers is for just notating everything that you have in your collection, and mine is kind of like a week by week update tracker sort of a thing. But regardless, I love a good spreadsheet, so definitely check out her channel if you're interested in more like spreadsheet nail polish content. One of my goals that I have talked about a few times on this channel that I set for myself at the beginning of the year was to only buy 10 polishes, and you guys, I did it. Like, I really did that. Like, I only bought 10 polishes, and I'm very, very, very proud of myself. If you're curious, I bought 7 Lurid Lacquer polishes, 2 Divine Lacquer polishes, and 1 ILMP polish. Most of those polishes I did do like swatch and review videos for as well. So if you're curious as to like what specific polishes I bought, you know, what made the cut of the 10 polishes that I could buy, check out some of my older videos. I'll link them as well so you guys can see if you're interested. I definitely am going to try to explore more brands next year. I love, love, love Lurid Lacquer, and I want to try out another new indie brand. I'm not sure which one exactly. I think I'm actually going to do like a whole video on that separately. But regardless, I'm very happy and proud of myself that I only bought those 10 polishes. So even though it was hard, it was not as hard as I anticipated, because honestly, like once I reached the cap, like once I bought all 10, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like it almost relieved stress and was like, I don't even have to buy like anything else. Like that's it. It's just over. I don't have to worry about like what's coming out next, because like I'm not gonna buy it, you know? Definitely a good and easy way to kind of get into that mindset of like, I don't need to buy anymore, if you know what I mean. So if you're someone who, you know, maybe you don't track your purchases as much, but you know that you've bought at least like 50 polishes, then maybe try to set a really like tight goal of how many polishes that you want to buy. So for example, I don't remember off the top of my head like how many polishes I bought last year, but it was definitely way more than 10. I think maybe it was around 30 or 50, something like that. So 10 was definitely a big goal, but I did it and I'm so proud of myself. So maybe just some inspo for you guys if you haven't picked out what your goals are going to be, or even thought about nail polish goals or anything like that. I didn't recommend doing goals, obviously, that's why I'm doing them. But lots of fun, and honestly can almost relieve stress in a way if you find yourself having a lot of like anxiety around your nail polish collecting and buying and that sort of a thing. So thumbs up, would recommend. Another one of my goals was to pan 2 polishes. Unfortunately, I did not pan those 2 polishes. I did not pan any polishes actually, which is definitely a bummer because I did try. Honestly, it wasn't my highest priority though. It was kind of lower on the list of my goals, and I did, you know, use them more than I would have probably if I didn't have that goal specifically, because I wanted to pan Essie Bikini Sotini and Essie Not So Low Key, which are just a periwinkle and like a dark red cream. And I kind of have like dupes for them in my collection, so that's why I wanted to get rid of them. But they're still in my collection. I'm gonna keep working on, you know, using them up because they are pretty polishes. I don't want to just waste them. But yeah, so I'm definitely still gonna be working on it. and I'm excited to get through them. I also had another goal as to, destash 50 polishes, and I think I'm actually going to do just a whole separate video on that. I want that to be my next video on this channel, but we'll have to see. I'm essentially going to talk about all the polishes that I destashed in 2025 and some other destash tips. In the meantime, if you are curious as to how I destash, you can check out my other video on that as well. I definitely love destashing. I destash a lot, and I think it's a great way to keep your collection updated and perfectly curated to your taste as they evolve over time. Next up, another one of my goals for 2025 was to only have 200 polishes in my collection by the end of the year. And guys, I did not complete this goal. I really did not. I did try my best though. I came close. Right now in my possession, I have 209 polishes, and you're thinking, wow, you couldn't just get rid of 9 more? You have 200 other ones. Well, no, I couldn't, because I love those polishes so much. And honestly, I am kind of indecisive sometimes, especially with destashing, because obviously once it's gone, it's gone. So if I'm not 100% sure, I want to destash something or not, I'm not just gonna throw it in the destash pile yet. I do have a maybe pile, but that 209 number does count my maybe pile, and it does include my untried pile. So it could waver, but for now it's at 209, and hopefully I still would like to get it under 200, but I guess it's not really the biggest deal in the whole world either. I did come pretty close. I think I started the year around 230 or 240 or so. So I definitely, did pare it back down a lot, and I'll talk more about, what exactly I destashed in an upcoming video. Now, to get to my 2026 goals, I want to take a different approach. I think that I did, cover a lot of different categories in a sense. I covered panning, I covered destashing, I covered, polishes that are incoming into my collection and all that into my previous year's goals. However, for 2026, I do want to take things in kind of a different direction, just because I feel like I'm in a really good place with where my mindset is with my nail polish collection. So right now, I think I want to focus on actually using up my polishes instead of getting rid of more, because I think I'm still going to be destashing and everything, but the removal aspect is not going to be so enforced, just because I feel like I kind of already do that, so I don't have to tell myself to have to do that, if that makes sense. So I think my goal is going to be to use every single polish and topper in my collection. And honestly, I know I've set hard goals for me in the past, but this goal seems very, very tricky for me. I'm really nervous about it, so I'm kind of hesitant about even sharing it, if I'm being honest. I'm not 100% dead set on it, because I'm like, am I gonna be able to do that? I don't know. But you know what? I guess that's the whole point of goals is, don't just set a goal because you think you can do it, right? Set it because it's something you aspire to do. And I definitely do aspire to use every polish in my collection. I guess that's the whole point of when we buy polishes and bring them into our spaces in the first place, is because we want to use them. So why is it so scary to tell myself, use what you have? I don't know, but I think right here, right now, I'm going to commit to it, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to track, that I use every single polish. So I'm going to have to figure out a system soon here. But yeah. Okay, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but I can do it. Tell me you guys believe in me, because I need it. My second and last goal that I'm going to set for myself for 2026 is to, once again, coming back, buy only 10 polishes. I did really like that restriction aspect of it. 10 polishes feels like a normal number, at least in my, space that I've created. So I think that I can do it. I think it's going to be possible. Obviously, I did it, the last year, so I'm feeling confident that I can do it again. It was a little bit annoying sometimes, having that tight restriction, but in the end, I did appreciate it, and I didn't, have a huge cap or anything like that. So I think I'm going to commit to it. Those two goals: 1, to use every polish in my collection, and 2, to only buy 10 new polishes. On the side, I'm still going to be destashing, and I'm also going to be trying to, use up some of those very low polishes. But yeah, guys, I think that's basically it. Let me know if you guys plan on having any goals for this year. I hope you do, just because I love to advocate for setting aspirations. Of course, I think it's what drives us as humans forward, is having bigger and better goals every year. says me, I guess, who set one of the goals as the same as last year. But you know what? It was so good, I had to come back, okay? What can I say? If you guys set goals for last year and how that ended up turning out, I promise it's a safe space. I myself did not complete all my goals, so you're perfectly fine if you didn't. Just want to chat about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!